Hey friends, welcome back to Big Nate's Whiskey Lounge. My name is Nate, and today I'm going to do my first Texas whiskey. I've drank this before, I've drank other Texas whiskeys, but this is going to be the first one I review on my channel, and this is going to be Garrison Brothers Small Batch. This comes in at 94 proof, 47% ABV. This gives the corn variety, food grade #1 white. It was farmed in South Texas. This is bottle number 50894. This is the 2021 release, and it was aged 3 years in oak. Garrison Brothers is out of High, Texas, and so this is their small batch bourbon. I do like this. At least the first time I had it, I did. So I'm kind of interested to crack it open. I'll do some more Texas. I have a couple more behind me from another distillery that's a little bit more broad. I have 4 things from them and growing. So one of these days I'll either just go ahead and do what I have and then add to it as I go, or I'll wait till I have a couple more. But let's crack open this small batch. Again, not a fresh cork pop, but... So again, this was aged for 3 years. It's very dark for 3 years. So again, we know that this is straight bourbon. This is Texas straight bourbon because they can call it that because it's from Texas. But they age state it because it's under 4 years old. So it's straight, meaning it's more than 2, but it's age stated because it's less than 4. Ooh, that smells very unique, very interesting. I got cinnamon on it, almost like a cinnamon roll. It's very, very bready. Bread is very dominant. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of classic colors, your caramel. Decent color for only 3 years. Dusty. And a very, very interesting nose. There's almost like a pancakey syrupiness to it is what the sweetness is. You know what? It does taste young. There's a note in there, kind of it's a great. I now, and just you are watching me I was this old when I realized I now understand what green tastes like. When people say this is a little green, a little grassy, that's in this. I do not dislike it. I just acknowledge that it's there. And that's totally fine. I'm getting notes. I can not necessarily from here, but I can smell it as it gets closer. So I'm getting hints of stuff, but I'm having trouble pinpointing it down. So I apologize that I'm not giving full details. But it is really good. I do like it. I wouldn't, because of how unique Texas is. Well, Texas is starting to get massive, just like the state itself is. But it's still a small market. And so I would not use this in a cocktail. I would not use this. I would only recommend, my recommendation, opinion-based, neat or on the rocks. That would be my only recommendation. I have not had it on the rocks. I don't typically drink on the rocks. So if I'm drinking something on the rocks, it means I really am not interested in what I'm drinking. I'm just trying to drink. And Texas, I think, deserves a little bit more love than that. Now, the other distillery that's coming up has one of their rye is one of my least favorite whiskeys. However, when I did my Orphan Barrel Copper Tongue, which was also in my top 3 of least favorite, I didn't dislike it. So we'll have to see what happens with that rye as it opens up. But again, this is Garrison Brothers Day. So I really like that cool, they got the star on there, classic Texas, Dallas Cowboys, who, I don't know why you guys people think they're America's team. They can suck it. They're not. I don't know how they got labeled that. It could be as a disgruntled Bills fan because they kicked the Bills' butts back-to-back years in the early 90s. So it could be because of that I just refuse to acknowledge it, but I do like that star. That is really classic. This is cowboy whiskey. This is a really cool bottle design. This is wax. This black part here, this is wax. So, but it's not a drip. It's like, it just covers the whole thing. It's kind of cool. So, it's also got a star inside on top of it, which is nice too. Good bourbon can change the world. Yes, it did. Yes, it does. Born and bred in High, Texas. This part here is kind of just, it's a little metal piece thing and it wraps around. And that's what, small batch. Cooked, distilled, barreled, and bottled by Garrison Brothers. And then drink like an adult. Now, you're probably not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to show us close. It shows the state. There's a little dot that shows, I'm assuming that's where they're located. You know what? While I'm getting a little bit of syrupiness on it, it's just straight up pancake itself. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm looking for, this is the only one that I've seen in my area other than the honeydew. I've seen the honeydew in my area. I'm not interested in that. However, you know what we should do? That's honey infused straight bourbon whiskey. That needs to be sent to Will so he can do a Whiskey the Pooh episode. There we go. That's his next one. Right there. So Garrison Brothers, and it's only 80 proof. Yeah, that's the next one that Will's got to do. So if you watch this and you're a fan of the podcast, we need to reach out to Will and say, hey, Whiskey the Pooh, your friend Whiskey the Pooh, needs to do Garrison Brothers Honeydew. Fantastic. This is good. It's green. It's young. But it gives a good inclination of what Texas whiskey is becoming. So I applaud that. I applaud you. And I say to you, I've had a few. Have a good night.